Hello and welcome back to the Dukascopy TV Centre, where today I'm joined by Laurent Bellier, CFO and CRO of Dukascopy Bank, who's here with me today to discuss Forex regulation in Switzerland. Laurent, welcome into the studio. Now, Forex regulation in Switzerland underwent large changes in 2008. Can you tell me a little bit more about this?
Before 2008, any company was allowed to offer Forex trading services in Switzerland. There was no specific licensing requirement. And in 2008, it was decided that only banks would be allowed to provide a brokerage service in foreign exchange. And all the players active in Switzerland were given a deadline until 31st of March 2009 to comply with the banking requirements and to apply to the Swiss regulator, which is the FINMA, to obtain a banking authorization, a kind of banking license. And it was a major change in this industry. To give you, I would say, an idea, before there were about 200 players in this field in Switzerland. And because of the change, only two remained in Switzerland. All the others had either to exit Switzerland or to close the business, and only two players, of which Dukascopy, obtained the banking license. So it gives you an idea of the dramatic change it implied. And of course, for our company, it meant a huge change in the organization, in the structure, in the corporate governance, in the control monitoring systems. So it is a large, huge change, which I see is very positive.
With different countries having, therefore, different regulations, does that restrict the type of clients that banks can approach?
Of course, we are limited in our ability to target foreign clients with foreign regulation. We are supposed to know about these different regulations, and to know before, I would say, we cross a border, we need to know if we are allowed to do it, what we are allowed to do, if we can do it only, and under which restrictions. And in certain cases, it means that we cannot go in certain countries. We can only accept clients passively. So usually it is admitted that clients from anywhere in the world can come to our bank and request our services. But to go actively, to target, to promote our services in different countries, to go there physically with some representatives or through publications, for instance, is becoming more and more risky.
What impact does the financial situation have upon these regulations, or even on banks' responses to them?
What is very, I would say, typical to this situation, countries tend to close their borders, and they try to attract back all this business and all this money which flowed out of their countries. They try to collect back all these funds and business in their own country in order to generate more tax revenues and to, I would say, to make better conditions for their own market and own players. And this results in a tightened regulation, usually worldwide, especially in Europe, I would say, in the developed financial centers in developed countries. Regulation is becoming tighter and tighter. It's becoming more and more difficult to do offshore business. Also, it's the same from Switzerland. Switzerland was very strong in offshore business, and so that's why it is impacting us so much at the time being.
With the Swiss economy potentially heading towards recession, surely it needs as much openness as possible at the moment, which these regulations seem to limit.
Of course, the trend we observe in the tightening of regulation, I would say, is an additional obstacle for the Swiss economy. As you know, the financial industry in Switzerland, I would say, has a very significant place. And this environment, which is more difficult for us, of course, is an additional obstacle, and it would be better to have opposite situation where we have more opportunities to develop our businesses abroad than it is now. So we have to deal with this situation, with this evolution. Switzerland alone cannot fight and change this trend, so we need to be clever and to find the appropriate way to adapt ourselves, our business models, in order to continue to grow. And so it is a kind of challenge, actually.
What systems do Dukascopy have in place, in terms of assessing risk at present in the current environment?
So, as a bank, we have a strong legal and compliance service, which is including some lawyers. So we can say that we know Swiss regulation pretty well, but this is not enough. Today, you need to know also the regulations abroad. And for that, we need, of course, we collect some information by ourselves, by contacting some regulators or checking some website, and we collaborate with local experts in the different jurisdictions where we are active in order to get necessary knowledge about the regulations, to understand the risk, how we should adapt our business model, and it is becoming a significant activity in our company.
Laurent, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That's all we've got time for here at Dukascopy. However, please do stay tuned as we continue to bring you the latest currency updates and interviews. For now though, goodbye.